Just leave, Olivia. No need for lawyers or paperwork, Marcus said, watching me pack. Downstairs, his young girlfriend, Hannah, laughed as she rearranged my furniture. I stayed calm as I folded my clothes. Are you sure? No legal separation, no formal divorce. Marcus leaned against the door, arms crossed. What's the point? You have your job, I have mine. Hannah and I want a fresh start. Lawyers will just make things messy. I'm Olivia Parker, 42. I thought my marriage was fine minus 15 years, a nice house, a stable life. But life has surprises, sometimes in the form of betrayal. Marcus glanced at his expensive watch, the one I bought him for our 10th anniversary. You're not in a position to demand anything. The house and cars are in my name. Your government job pays enough. You'll be fine. That government job. If only he knew. I zipped up my suitcase, taking one last look around. Hannah's perfume filled the room. Her bag was on my side of the bed. You're taking this well, Marcus said, expecting me to cry or beg. I smiled, remembering how I found out about his affair, not through text or lipstick stains, but in a much more interesting way. I've learned to pick my battles, Marcus, I said, but I'm surprised you don't want legal proof of our separation. He shrugged. Why bother? You move out, Hannah moves in. Life goes on. No paper trail. That almost made me laugh. Downstairs, Hannah was already replacing my things. She barely looked up as I walked past. I left some things in the study. I'll be back tomorrow, I said. Whatever. Just text first, Marcus replied, already focused on Hannah. I loaded my suitcase into my car and glanced back. Through the window, Marcus and Hannah were laughing, wrapped up in their new life. I pulled out my phone and sent a text. Everything ready for tomorrow. Target confirmed no legal documentation. Proceeding as planned. The reply was instant. Understood. Team briefed. 9 a.m. sharp. I took a last look at the house Marcus thought was his. He had no idea what was coming. He never questioned my job, never wondered why I handled all our finances, never noticed how his investment portfolio always did better than others. As I drove, my phone buzzed again. Additional evidence collected. Operation confirmed. Tomorrow, Marcus would finally understand what my job really was. He would learn that his wife, the woman he betrayed, was actually protecting him all these years. But not anymore. At exactly 9 a.m., Justice would arrive at his door, wearing a bulletproof vest and carrying a federal warrant. The next morning, I sat in an FBI surveillance van, sipping coffee while watching live camera feeds of my old house. Marcus's routine was always the same. 7:45 a.m., kitchen lights on. Hannah trying to cook his favorite breakfast. 8:15 a.m., Marcus showering, then fixing his hair. 8:45 a.m., adjusting his tie in the hallway mirror. Target is getting ready to leave, Agent Torres said. All teams in position. A chorus of voices confirmed. You okay? Torres asked. She knew this was personal for me. Better than okay, I said, watching Hannah kiss Marcus goodbye. Feels strange being on this side of the operation. For 3 years, I had gathered evidence against Marcus's investment firm. What started as a simple investigation uncovered fraud, money laundering, and serious financial crimes. No wonder Marcus didn't want legal paperwork between us. He was hiding more than just an affair. At 8:55 a.m., Marcus stepped outside, briefcase in hand, still smug, still thinking he was untouchable. He checked his reflection in his car window, straightening a silk tie paid for with dirty money. All teams ready, Torres ordered. Remember, he isn't violent but may try to destroy evidence. Marcus got into his Mercedes, the car he bought in only his name. For tax reasons, he once said, now I knew the truth. It was harder to seize assets he owned alone. Target is moving, Torres announced. Team 1, go to the house. Team 2, prepare to intercept at his office. I focused on Hannah, still inside, cleaning up breakfast. She had no idea her dream life was about to crumble. 9 o'clock a.m. sharp, FBI agents surrounded the house. The doorbell rang. Hannah, wearing my old robe, opened the door, confused. FBI. We have a search warrant. Her confusion turned to panic. What? This has to be a mistake. No mistake, ma'am. Step aside. On another screen, Marcus was halfway to his office when flashing police lights appeared behind him. His car slowed, pulling over. Target has stopped, an agent confirmed. Moving in. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. What did you do? I didn't reply. Instead, I watched as agents approached, guns ready, just in case. Marcus stepped out, hands raised. His expensive suit suddenly didn't seem so powerful. Back at the house, Hannah sat crying on the couch as agents searched every corner. They knew exactly where to look. I had given them every detail. We found the first stash, an agent reported. Hidden safe in the study. Just like Agent Parker said. I smiled. Marcus had always praised my organization skills. He never realized I was using them against him. Torres turned to me. You knew about his crimes this whole time? I nodded. Discovered them 3 years ago. Started collecting evidence immediately. He never thought I was smart enough to understand his work, so he didn't bother hiding it. And the mistress. Found out about Hannah 3 months ago. She wasn't the first, but she was the last straw. My phone buzzed again. Marcus's lawyer this time. We need to talk. Now. Of course they wanted to talk. They were just realizing the truth. No shared accounts, no assets in my name, no divorce papers. It wasn't to protect Marcus. It was to make it easier for the FBI to take everything. On the screen, Hannah was being led out of the house, sobbing. She had thought she was gaining a perfect life. Instead, she was about to be questioned as a witness in a federal case. Target is secure. Moving to Phase 2, an agent said. Phase 2, raiding Marcus's office. His colleagues would soon discover that their star investment banker was actually a fraud. His clients would learn their high returns were all lies. Marcus? He was about to learn that the wife he underestimated had been watching and preparing for this moment all along. One more text came in, this time from Hannah. Did you know about this? I finally replied, yes. Now you know why Marcus didn't want a paper trail between us. Torres patted my shoulder. Ready to head to the office. They need you for the evidence analysis. I stood adjusting my FBI jacket. Let's go. Time to show them what a government job really looks like. 6 months later, I sat in the federal courthouse, watching Marcus enter in his orange jumpsuit. Gone was the expensive suit, the confident strut, the smug smile. The evidence I'd gathered over 3 years had proven devastating, not just for him, but for the entire firm. Hannah had turned state's witness almost immediately, desperate to avoid any charges herself. She provided additional details about conversations she'd overheard, meetings she'd witnessed, proving herself surprisingly useful to the prosecution. All rise. As the judge entered, I caught Marcus's eye. For the first time since his arrest, he looked directly at me. I saw the questions there, the confusion, the slow realization of just how completely he'd underestimated me. The sentencing was brief but impactful. 15 years, 1 for each year of our marriage. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The judge was particularly harsh, citing Marcus's blatant disregard for his client's financial security and his persistent pattern of deception. After the proceedings, I stepped into the courthouse hallway where Agent Torres waited. 15 years, she said, handing me a coffee, plus full asset forfeiture. The restitution team has already begun returning funds to the defrauded clients. I nodded, thinking about the house. Our house, now seized and pending auction. Hannah had moved back in with her parents, her dreams of being a wealthy man's wife shattered along with her reputation. Agent Parker? I turned to find Marcus's lawyer approaching. Your ex-husband would like to speak with you, if you're willing. I considered refusing, but curiosity won out. Minutes later, I sat across from Marcus in a small conference room, guards posted outside. Why didn't you tell me? He asked immediately. All those years, you knew what I was doing. You could have warned me. I laughed softly. I did warn you, Marcus. Remember all those times I questioned your investment strategies, suggested more transparent reporting. You always dismissed me, said I couldn't understand the complexities of your work. He winced, remembering. I never thought, your government job. No, you never did think about my job, did you? Never asked why I actually did, never showed any interest. You just assumed I was some minor bureaucrat pushing papers. When did you know? About everything. 3 years ago. That big client win you celebrated. The offshore accounts. That was when I started building the case. I could have arrested you then. but I wanted to understand the full scope of the operation. He leaned back, realization dawning. And Hannah? She made my decision easier, showed me it was time to stop protecting you. A guard signaled our time was ending. As I stood to leave, Marcus spoke again, his voice smaller than I ever heard it. I'm sorry, Olivia, not just for Hannah, for everything. I paused at the door. I know, but sometimes sorry isn't enough. Outside, spring was arriving in the city. I walked with Torres to our office, where a new case waited. Life was different now, but better. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more protecting someone who'd never valued me. The team's taking me out tonight, Torres said as we reached our building. To celebrate the conviction, you should come. I smiled, checking my phone. A text from my sister about dinner plans next week, another from a friend about a weekend hiking trip. My life had expanded since Marcus's arrest, filled with people and possibilities I'd forgotten existed. Count me in, I replied. Later that evening, surrounded by colleagues who'd become friends, I raised a glass to new beginnings. Someone asked if I regretted not turning Marcus in sooner. No, I said honestly. Everything happened exactly when it needed to. And it had. Marcus's arrest had exposed not just his crimes, but a larger network of financial fraud. The case had earned me a promotion, respect from colleagues who'd worked the investigation without knowing my personal connection, and most importantly, my freedom. The house would be sold, the assets distributed to victims, and Marcus would have plenty of time to think about his choices. Hannah had learned a hard lesson about trust and ambition. Though I heard she'd enrolled in community college, perhaps something good would come of it all. As for me, I was exactly where I needed to be. My government job had become a source of pride, my colleagues a source of strength, and my future, well, that was looking brighter than ever. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. Sometimes it's about standing back and letting justice take its course. And sometimes it's about showing everyone, including yourself, exactly who you've been all along. The next morning, I walked into my office, new case files waiting on my desk. Another financial fraud investigation, another chance to protect people from those who would exploit them. I smiled, thinking of Marcus's words, no need for legal papers. He'd been right about that, just not in the way he'd imagined. We hadn't needed divorce papers after all, federal indictments had worked just fine.